Hi. I decided to start a quarantine video diary just because I think it's important for me to in this time to really just sit and talk about all the things that have come to my mind during this time and all the things that I've been really thinking about. Really just for myself, so when I don't know, look back at these videos or whatever, I can really just see where I was at the time. I think it's important for me to really track my progression and my journey or whatnot. So first, I want to say I tried a new hairstyle or whatever, and this is a perm rod set, and I think it came out really nice. I think it came out really cute. This is my second time doing it. I think it came out a lot better than the first time because I used a lighter product. So the first time I used it, I used a heavier product, and I didn't. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it just didn't come out the way I wanted it to. And so this time I used the Almond Joy twisting butter, which is like a lighter butter. Is it a gel? I don't know. It's a butter, I think, but it's a lot lighter, and I think that it came out a lot better. And I didn't want to use a mousse because mousse for me dries hard, and I didn't really want it to be hard. The only thing is these bangs, like they don't know what they want to do, so I'm kind of just sweeping it or whatever. But sorry if that just moves. I'm playing with my hair. Also, the lighting. I'm not a YouTuber, so this lighting is going in and out. Anyway, so for this first little quarantine video diary, I'm taking a class this summer about career readiness and gerontology, and each week it's a 7-week class, and each week we have to do a reflection journal about our thoughts about what we learned the previous week. And obviously it's online, so it's one of those things. I hate online classes, never liked them. I'm really not somebody who can focus over a computer screen, but we're gonna do that. So I'm gonna really just read the post that I made for last week, and then I'll kind of just like talk about it and go off the dome or whatever. So here it goes. Okay. The last few months have been a struggle for me in trying to figure out what I want out of life. This pandemic has given me so much time to sit and deliberate about my life, and honestly, I don't know if that's a good or bad. Before COVID-19, I was focused and clear about my path, but then the world fell apart and so did my aspirations. I say my because for the first time I questioned if my aspirations were my own or the outcome of community pressure / expectations. I've always been the person who is steady and consistent. I stay within people's expectations of me and never trail far from those ideas. When I think about my life before COVID, I equate it to running on a hamster wheel. Every day I did the same thing, running towards the same goal, and saw nothing. I was just running through my life on autopilot. Then the pandemic happened and the world stopped. And for the first time, I saw everything. I have a running joke with my friends that the worst thing that could have ever happened to me was them, the forces that be, letting me off my hamster wheel. A veil was lifted from my eyes and I began to question this world and my future. My whole life is surrounded around my parents' expectation of me obtaining a doctoral degree. At every point of my life where that expectation is challenged in some way, I feel like a failure and a disappointment. Why is having a doctorate degree so important? Will it make them love me more? Will it make me a better person? Do they want it more for themselves? Or are they just using me as a vessel? I don't subscribe to intellectual elitism, nor do I feel we should be defined by our productivity. Perhaps I've had too much time on my hands, but I have been particularly interested in understanding psychedelic / hippie culture. Hippies had a level of freedom and enlightenment that we could not even begin to fathom because we are so indoctrinated with the ideals of capitalism and hyperproductivity. The fact that people have to work themselves to death just to obtain basic human rights is insane. However, don't forget to take care of your mental health. That is a joke. Who has time? Sorry. Who has time to think about that when you have to work just to live? Why am I stressing myself out about a degree when I can be happy instead? There are people in the world who are just happy and free. A degree is just a piece of paper that adds no value to me as a person, whether I have it or not. Holding degrees and accolades as merit is a capitalist ploy and a means of separation. The more I learn, the more I realize that I am no better and no different than a homeless woman on the street, especially as a black woman in America. All that being said, I don't know if I want to go get my PhD. This first week demonstrated how much work I have to do to revamp my life to potentially have a career outside of academia. Essentially, all my previous job readiness work, e.g., like my CV, personal statement, writing samples, is obsolete in this class, which is a little frustrating. So basically, sorry, I have my computer with me. Okay, so basically that was my journal, my weekly reflection journal from last week. And I think it pretty much sums up how I've been feeling as far as my career path. I mean, I have so many other thoughts that I've had about different things over this quarantine. But as far as my career path, and just this overall idea that in America you have to just like be hyper productive and work, and for like the last couple of years this whole idea of like being booked and busy has like just has infiltrated every part of everybody's life. And in quarantine and being in the house for 3 months, I started thinking to myself, I don't particularly enjoy being booked or busy. I don't really enjoy this whole idea of trying to obtain this level of like status when it really doesn't do anything for me. And I was just thinking, like, one of my friends, because I'm like the professional student in my friend group or whatever, and so like I said, it's a running joke like that I was on a hamster wheel, like a whole rat race, just to try to get to some place that I don't even really know I want to get to. Because the thing is, honestly, in life, I really just want to be happy. And I'm asking myself, is getting a doctorate degree really going to make me happy, or is it just me feeding into other people's happiness? Like, and in no way do I think that my parents wouldn't love me because I don't go get a doctorate degree, but I feel like in a way I would be disappointing them. And when I say that every point in my life where I feel like me getting a doctorate degree has been challenged, so like when I graduated college, I didn't get into the program that I really wanted to get into to go get my PhD. And literally that whole time where I didn't get in, I felt so horrible that I had just let down my entire family and everybody and all my professors and all the other, younger students who were in clubs with me and things like that. And I felt like a fraud because I'm just like, how is it that I couldn't do this? And it was like, honestly, I feel like God was really just like, at the time I couldn't see it, but now I'm like, perhaps God was just saying to me that you need to really think about if you want to do this or not, because that's 6 years of your life. I mean, that's 6 years of your life that you're going to have to commit to something, and you need to be sure that you want to do it. And so I feel like him not letting me in was just like him showing me that you're not as sure as you think you are. But I really remember being super sad about that. And in this time, I just love that the world is a lot slower. Like, and it's crazy because I feel like I don't have to keep up. And I don't know, I've always felt like this on the inside. But, when you live in the world that you live in, you kind of push it down because everybody around you is like, gotta go get it, gotta be a millionaire by 30, we gotta be billionaires. And it's just like, you look around and you're just like, I don't understand why the things that I should want, I don't, and they don't make me happy. Like, being a millionaire, I just don't want it. Like, having stuff, I just don't care. Like, it just doesn't move me in the way that it moves other people. And sometimes I feel bad about that because I always wonder, like, why doesn't it? Like, why am I not moved by the things that most people are? And I don't know, like, I feel like my parents have always had a simple life. They've had like normal jobs. Like, my mom was a teacher, my dad is an information technologist. Like, just have normal jobs, and and they have a good life. And I just always felt like, and then the whole thing about me having a doctorate degree, it doesn't make me any better than anybody else. I mean, honestly, the more I stay in school, I realize that the less I know. And also, my friend said this something the other day, like when she was like, "What has logic ever done for you? Like, what has knowing things and being knowledgeable ever done for you? Like, the more you know about the world, honestly, the more depressing you are. Like, the more depressing it is. Like, there's nothing fun about being knowledgeable about the way of the world and the way of people and just the way society works. Like, there's just no positive side of that. And again, like, it's just like people are genuinely happy in the world doing way less than you. And I mean, you see people on the streets and things like that, and you think, like, how did they attain this level of like happiness? And you realize that it really comes from within you, that you are the source of happiness. And it just really doesn't matter what job you have, what degree you have, how much, what amount of money you have or don't have. That if you within yourself are not at peace and are not happy, none of that stuff really matters. And I don't know, just thinking, having this time to really think about that and just seeing everything move so much slower, I feel like there are just so many things about life that are worth appreciating. And just the feeling of being alive is just enough, you know? And that's the other thing about, why is it that there always has to be something else? Like, why is it that there always has to be another goal, another phase? There's just never enough of what you have. Like, there's just never a point when you can just be content and happy with what you have, the little that you have, and be grateful for it. Because it just feels like sometimes people look at you strange when you are just not, you know, booked and busy, and you don't want to be booked and busy. Like, I have no interest. My friend, she's so funny. She was like, bro, I love unemployment. She was like, in no way, shape, or form do I miss having a job. Like, and I thought about that. I'm just like, what is fun about working? I mean, aside from work that is really fulfilling to you, like work, like being in the space of gerontology is fulfilling to me in the sense that I enjoy being around older people and I enjoy the study of aging. And it's crazy because gerontology is not one of those things where people are just like, oh, I just love helping old people. I've never felt like that. I honestly don't feel like I'm giving or doing anything, but I just think that being in a profession where I can be around people who help me grow as a person, as a human being, is just so amazing. Like, to be in a profession that not only can I grow as a young professional, but more importantly, I can grow as a human being. I feel like that's why I am in gerontology right now. But again, it's just the whole idea of like working, this hyper productivity. You gotta be on the go, you gotta be in the mix. And it's just like, at the end of the day, does it make you happy? And I feel like that's the question I've been asking myself, like, what really makes you happy? And do you realize that you yourself, you are the source, this vessel that you walk in every day, it is the source of everything, that everything that you need is already inside you. And that's crazy to realize, like that when everything slows down and you're just not distracted, you realize that everything that you need and want is already inside you. And that's such a powerful thought, to think that every day you already walk around just in the world with everything that you could possibly need to be successful in this life. So yeah, that's basically my first reflection. And I guess like the last thing is just really asking yourself, what makes you happy?